Welcome to the Business Power Hour with Lisa and the Music Man. Live from Studio C at media stations in Bohemia, New York.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Power Hour with the lovely Lisa Rodino and the most handsome, debonair, and sophisticated
Music man.
Whoa!
There you go.
All right, so enough of that nonsense. All right, what's up? How was your week? How was your weekend?
Bit busy.
What'd you do this weekend?
This weekend we were up in Tobyhanna,
Who?
Pennsylvania.
Tobyhanna?
Tobyhanna, yes. It's
Okay.
north of Mount Pocono.
And what the heck is there?
What the heck is there? Oh, there's a whole lot of nothing and a lot of warehousing being built up.
So what, you have something going on with warehousing that you're
No.
going up there?
No, we actually go meet with some folks on Saturdays up there, and we had a nice little meal together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I stayed home. I was all pumped and excited about the New York Knicks and the playoffs. And then I said
heard
it
that
was
didn't
3
go
o'clock.
so
Oh,
good.
forget it. You know, I wasn't good the next day or the next. And I'm definitely not good today knowing that they lost last night. But what are you going to do? We got to the playoffs, and that's a good thing. Another lady that has gotten to the playoffs and is our guest for this evening, her name is Margie Basaraba. Is that correct?
Basaraba.
And she's
I
a
usually-
singer. She sings live each week in her hometown. Is
Very
that right?
nice.
No?
No, I sing my name and it's how people remember me. So that just
But you're in
makes
the
it
real
easy.
estate and solar business, aren't you?
Yes, I certainly am.
Okay, well, welcome to the show, to the Business Power Hour, and everybody is tuned in wanting to hear Margie's story. So let's start
Okay.
off from the beginning. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Butte, Montana.
Montana. Is it
Butte,
small?
Montana.
Yeah. Is
And
it
that's a
small?
pretty big town in Montana, isn't it?
No,
That's what I
it's
thought.
not.
It's small. Right.
Kind of rustic, maybe?
Very.
It's very rustic. It was mining town in its day, in its heyday. It was one of the biggest towns. But then, of course, when mining the copper mining is what they were famous for.
You know, it's funny because I remember watching a lot of cowboy movies, and they always had Butte, Montana mentioned in a
Really?
lot of the movies. So
Wow.
that's where I always thought it was that kind of a town.
Well, it's so historic. So if you haven't gone and you're going like to Montana area to go to Yellowstone or Glacier, those two are on each side of the state, right? Well, you stop in Butte along the way because now you're going to get all the world mining history and it really is a pretty cool town for that. But I always say it's a good place to be
How
from.
long did you live there?
I lived there for quite a while, 40 years actually.
Oh, really?
Oh, so
Wow.
what pulled you away?
Well, I grew up there, and then when I turned 40, I had some major changes in business and life, and so I thought, I think I need a new adventure. So I did. I left the town that I've lived in forever. My kids were already grown and gone, and ended up in Oregon.
Ooh.
And so that was where I started so I always say, that's why when people say, well, how old are you? And I say, well, I'm only 24 because I started over at 40.
Why did you move to Oregon? How did you pick that?
That was my husband now. That's where he was from. And so we decided to come down here. He owned an espresso shop in Anaconda, Montana.
Does he still have it?
No, we sold that. And then we decided to get out of the below zero weather and come to Oregon where, we don't have that snow that you have to shovel.
Right.
So,
But
So-
do you
yes,
they
so
have an
we both
espresso
started
shop?
over.
Are there
We
espresso
did.
shops there?
Lots of espresso shops
Really?
here. but
Okay.
yeah.
So you
So-
must be west of the mountains.
West of, yes.
The
Yeah.
mountains.
We're in the valley. They call it the Willamette Valley
Oh,
in
okay.
Eugene.
In
And,
Eugene.
yeah.
Okay.
It's about an hour to the coast and an hour to the snow if you want to go to the snow, which I elect not to anymore because, like I say,
Good
I grew
move.
up in Montana where you didn't have a choice.
Right.
So you grew up in Butte, Montana. 40 years you're there. Things change, business changes, other personal situations change. You go with this gentleman, your husband, and you go to Oregon. and he had a. How am I doing so far? Pretty good.
You're doing
I pay
pretty good.
attention.
And there was
he- and
24
ex-
years that she's been in Oregon.
That's right, and she's only 24 years old.
Yeah.
So, what business are you in now? Tell us what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I decided when we moved back here, we were here in Oregon for just a short while back in like 2000, and then we ended up moving to Spokane, Washington with his job. And so we were up there for 18 years. When we moved back here, we came back because of mainly family. And so we have five, let's see, it's hard to keep count of them all, but we have 4 kids that live here and 5 of our 7 grandsons that live here, and most of Daryl's extended family. So we came back to be near family and get out of the snow.
Nice. I have 7 grandchildren also.
Do you? All
Yeah.
boys?
No, actually, four girls and 3 boys.
Yeah, I was, wanting a girl all this time, and I may still have a chance, although it's getting slimmer
Well,
all the
I have
time.
a couple
but
if you want. Want to make a deal. We'll
I
see what we
adopt
can do.
I adopt my friends' girls,
There you go.
and am a good, what do they call it? A co-grandma.
My girl grandchildren run in the age from 6 to 16.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
Well, I'm sure we could partner up because I have the grandsons
That's
from
right.
That age to 16 too.
So we'll see what we
might
can
have
do
to do a
after
little
the show.
matchmaking.
Oh dear, here we go, matchmake it.
So let me ask you a question. At one time, were you in Florida?
I have visited Florida, but I am not in Florida.
But you didn't have a business that was related at some point? Something
Yeah,
to do with
so
Florida?
I started my real estate career when I came back here again. I reactivated my real estate license. And then one of the things I did is partner with one of the solar company to help our homeowners once, to be able to get off the grid and to be able to save money on. And so I was associated with Florida Energy Advisors at that time. And so that's where the Florida came from. But I lived in Oregon and was just helping families all over the country, but it just happened to be the company that I was with was Florida Energy. Now we've been merged with a company called Sun Pacific Power.
Let me ask a question. And in fact, I mentioned something to Lisa earlier before the show started. There are so many solar companies all over the country. You were involved with Sun Solar, based out, I guess, out of Florida, and you were doing solar with homes in Florida, correct? Why would somebody in Oregon who lives there want to deal with a company that's based out of Florida when there's so many in Oregon?
Well, I had actually, as a real estate agent, had been introduced to the company. It's called Power, Powur, and they're mostly in Texas, Florida, and the East Coast, and they didn't happen to be in Oregon yet. But I saw the potential there. There's about 90 million homes that qualify for solar, and only about 4% of them have it.
And how
And
many
so I
solar
just-
companies are there, though, in Oregon?
Oh, I don't even know in Oregon. There's hundreds of them all over the country, right? But so the company that I elected to go with my real estate team, just didn't happen to be in Oregon. So I, thought, well, and really Texas and Florida and those areas, they have a lot more population, and they are really being hurt, by those major power companies just continually raising the rates and not having any control over it. So that's kind of where the epicenter of solar is right now, and that in California. And so that's how an Oregon girl ended up being in Florida and Texas doing solar.
Now, Texas, because I remember the big controversy that there was a couple of years back when the freeze came and the
yeah.
grid went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me how, or tell everybody that's listening, how does your solar program help somebody who is in, I guess all of Texas is involved in that with the grid, right? So everybody
Yeah.
went down.
Well, they had the windmills, and those all froze. A lot of them.
Well, that's what I'm
over,
saying. And
yeah.
then the grid went,
Yeah.
no service.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then if you're a
Well-
politician, you go to Mexico, But that's for
That's
another story
another
another
day. We
time.
don't talk politics
We're not
here.
talking. We're just talking vacation time.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing. Most people rely on the grid or the electric companies because they just don't realize that there's options. They're starting to think about cleaner, more efficient energy, but it's always had a lot of myths about it. It's very expensive, and how would I, how's it going to affect my home value? Just different things like that. So, but you're right, those storms and the hurricanes and just all the weather conditions, basically, when you have solar and you have battery backup, you're going to be able to still have power because you're generating your own power instead of having to rely on the grid where they do the blackouts, brownouts, or they're just totally out of
What a
service.
great sales tool
Yeah.
that
I
the
know.
grid went down.
Yeah.
That's got to help you out in Texas at least.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like with the roofers, right? The roofers follow the hurricanes because what do everybody need when they go through hurricanes? They need new roofs,
Yes.
right? So it's kind of similar, but I don't know. I don't really feel like I'm a storm chaser, but
But it's a good idea.
Yeah, because once the new roof is up, now
Well,
it's
they got to
time for
build
the
a house.
panels.
It's not just the roof. They have to build a whole house.
Yes, sometimes.
yeah, a lot of places they certainly do. Yeah. And thank heavens I'm not ever one. I don't ever really want to live in hurricane. I mean, everybody has their own, like here in Oregon, we have wildfires, and so you're affected by different weather situations. But I don't know. I've just always really been afraid of the hurricanes and the water, and you just see that devastation that people are
Right.
dealing with all of that. And so, yeah, I'm excited to really be able to take advantage of something that's growing and just really helping families.
So which
You know.
comes first, a solar or a house?
Well, typically, the homeowner will already own a home, and then they got into that 30-year mortgage, and now they're just thinking of ways that they can save money as the economy changes. And so the next big bill that they need to think about is their electricity and all their utilities. And especially if they're going to be converting to electric vehicles.
Now,
right?
is that a
Because-
selling point to that? Because you get pros and cons. Is having solar on your roof a selling point, or does it matter where you are in the country
Or-
that it's
or-
more of a selling point or not?
Or what sale did you get from it? Is it
Yeah.
a rented roof or is it owned by you?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that's the thing. There's been a lot of myths about solar, and one of them is the fact of, uh, that it will affect the value of their home. But think about it now. Most people, because of all the green initiatives, people are wanting a more efficient home. Okay. So if you're looking at a home for sale with no solar and a home for sale with solar, you may be able to get a lot more value for your home because you're already got the solar investment and they won't have to invest in it.
So
to
it's
be able to get
transferable.
there. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's totally transferable. And there's just been a lot of changes in the solar industry. So, people had, and I think some of those, remember we talked about the hundreds of solar vendors out there.
Yes.
So there has been some stories because solar actually has been around quite a few
for a long
years.
time.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot has changed in the solar industry. So for people that, have all those myths about solar that they don't know whether it would work for them or not, that's like, well, you got to get over it because all your electric bill keeps going up and up and up. You have no control over it. And, do you want to, like, I think you were talking about renting your roof. Well, how about renting your electricity versus owning it?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you do commercial solar also?
I don't, but I do. We have a division of our company that does, but that's not my specialty. But yes, somebody can contact me about solar. And if I'm talking with them about their personal solar, then if they say, well, what about for my business? Then I just get connected to our commercial division.
Here's a multi-tiered question.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, boy.
All right. I better really pay
All
attention.
right. Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
am.
Do you need a drink or anything?
Actually, I do.
All
I'm gonna
right,
do
go
that.
take a sip.
Yeah.
Good, there you go. This is sip time. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Everybody,
we can
leave-
all-
Okay,
we gotta get
everybody.
a
1,
sip.
2, 3. Cheers.
Salud.
The drinking show.
All right, now I
Yes.
forgot. Now I forgot the question.
Well,
Okay. Yeah.
So
Okay. I
you
think
were going to have a
Multi-tiered.
multi-tiered question. Are
I
you
still have
asking
it. I
about-
just got to find it.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's
so,
dig.
Okay, we're going to skip that question because I have a senior moment,
Okay.
and we'll
So-
come back. Go
So
ahead.
what about, what drove you to go into solar and real estate? What was your drive?
Well, my drive for real estate was, we just, for our family, I've always been interested in homes, and I thought, well, one of us should have a real estate license. When I moved back here when I was 40, right,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I was going to be doing, and so I thought, well, I'll get my real estate license. I had it for a short time, and then we ended up moving to Spokane, and didn't really go into real estate then. But anyways. But yeah, and then like I say, I've really been the company I'm with, EXP Realty. They think outside the box. We're not your typical real estate agents. We work with clients before the sale, during the sale, and then after the sale is even the most important part of a real estate deal. Because once you get the family into the home, now you need to be there and be able to provide them value and other services that they can get help with. And so it just was a natural referral to be able to partner with a solar company because that's their next biggest bill.
Nice.
Okay, I remember my question.
Okay.
It took a little while because of age. I mean, it's all age related. Trust me when
Yes.
I say that.
CRS. Can't remember stuff.
Absolutely. Okay. So there are so many solar companies, and then there's your company. And then there's the truth of what solar is and what everybody's supposed to represent. So let's discuss that part for what's the real deal about solar. And for everybody that's listening, here comes the truth. Here comes the judge. Tell us
Okay.
exactly what the story is with solar.
Well, solar is a really great energy source. The sun is there. Everybody has access to it. Now you just need to harness it. Okay. The cost of solar is coming down. You really need to do it. But what's the problem has been is that the electric companies don't want to lose that monopoly that they've had.
Right.
So they're fighting us and battling, everybody changing to that because that means money out of their pocket. And so, but the truth is that solar is not going away. We need to be able to get off the grid because the grid is failing and they're having to raise people's power bills all the time, but they're still not able to keep up with the need and all of the, keeping the grid updated because it's very expensive to do that. So that's my take on it from a layman's term. I mean, I'm not an
Well, you're a
expert on
layman,
that,
but
but-
you also sell the product. So if somebody says to you, you go to this lovely home and they're thinking about doing solar, or they did it years ago and they got to do the upgrades to be, state of the artish, what do you tell them? And first of all, is there a cost? Because you hear
Yes.
there's a cost, that there is a cost, there is no cost, the government takes care of this, right?
Yes,
The
yeah.
government
We get the
does-
advertisements that,
All the time,
they're
especially
gonna
here
pay
in New
for
York.
it.
free solar.
I
Yeah.
can't tell you about Oregon, but I can tell you here in New York, it's
They're
free.
always-
It
yeah.
doesn't cost you a penny
Sure.
unless you sit down and talk about doing
Right.
it.
And you also mentioned the generator or preserving the electricity that your solar
And the
panels are
battery,
making and
battery
the battery.
backups and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Explain that a little bit too.
Yeah, see, and that's why I say we could do a whole day just on a solar education. So
Well,
we're
let's
gonna
do 10 minutes and see how that works.
Okay. So basically, when we design a solar system, we're going to look at their existing solar bills, what their usage is, and they're going to have solar on their roof for at least 25, most companies 25-year warranty. The company that we're with, we do a 30-year warranty. And
That's a
so you're
plus,
going to
all
have
right.
those. So we need to design the system for their home usage today and tomorrow and into 25 years, right? And so that's what we design them. We also need to design them with like battery backups because there again, is your power bill the same every month of the year or does it kind of go
It
up and down?
fluctuates because it depends on the weather.
Unless you're on a budget.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and you can do budget billing, but overall your usage goes up and down,
correct.
but
Yes.
you just end up having budget billing, which can be good, but in other where you don't really know what they're charging per
Or you
kilowatt
don't
hour.
find out until the end of the year when
Yeah.
your bill for the following year goes up or down.
Right.
Yeah,
And not
exactly.
only that, the power companies nowadays, you know, they have all kinds of different add-on fees depending on what time of day you're utilizing their energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and in New York, they recently are working on a bill to make it mandatory that you no longer are allowed to use natural gas. So what power source are you going to use to heat your place?
Son,
Yeah.
The sun,
Yeah, the
now
sun
when
and so
electricity.
that is an issue, and that's an issue in Oregon and everywhere. And then one of the things that I really want consumers to think about is to, when's the best time to go solar? Well, yesterday. When's the next best time? Today. Because the cost of electricity is just going up and up and up because they have to try to be able to get the money to upgrade the system to keep ahead of just everybody's increased usage.
now
And then,
there's another cost which I
mhm,
think is an obvious cost when you do solar. It's called your roof. So you
yes.
have an inspector come and they look at the roof and they ask you how long is it, in the shape that it is, or when did you put it up? 10 years ago. But it
Hmm.
looks like it's 15 or 20 years old. It got beat. The weather killed it. Do you have a deal for people to redo their roof? Because you really shouldn't do solar unless you have a new roof or fixed
Correct.
at least, at the very least.
Yeah. It just doesn't make financial sense to put brand new solar that's going to have a 30-year life at least on an old roof. And so we do always look at that. And the other thing that I learned after being in solar was that insurance companies sometimes they aren't covering roofs like they used to. And so the older your roof is, then they may not give you as much of a, if you have roof damage from a storm or whatever, they may not cover 100% of it because they're already saying, oh, there's depreciation on the roof that was already old. So that's another reason why people need to really just think about it. And when you're getting solar, yes, you might as well get solar. You might as well look at getting a new roof because then you'll have the whole package will be, warranted and covered for the 30 years,
Is the
not just the
government, though,
solar
because I don't
panels.
know if we really directly answered this yet, is the government giving or one-way tax deductions or a check back for people that install a roof and
They
or
do.
solar or vice versa?
Mhm. Yeah, they do have tax credits, federal tax credits. And then some states like Maryland, they have some local programs. So that's what my job is, and our team's job is to be the advocate for you because you don't know who's the best solar company. So we actually are with a co op that we outsource the best of the best of the products and a lot of different options, a lot of different options for financing because solar is not free. You can typically get solar with zero out of pocket, and then we
Okay, so
apply the
that's
different
probably
tax.
what they mean about
Mm-hmm.
not costing anything. Can you go?
Yeah.
Can you address that a little bit more?
Yeah, and that is one of the myths about solar that has given solar a bad name. There were a lot of people that were saying, oh, yeah, free solar, free solar. Well, it is actually free because what are you paying for your power bill? And we're going to be able to switch it over to solar so that your power bill is going to go down. You could have a negative power bill, except for all the miscellaneous fees that they charge you. We can't get rid of those because you still need to connect to the grid. So you're
Hmm.
getting a negative power bill. And if the system is designed right, and depending on what you're paying for electricity, then you can pay for the solar and the new roof, and it will still be less than the power bill that you have.
All right, I have more questions leading in that, but I want to let people know how to get in touch with you. So
Okay.
if you can just tell everybody how to get in touch with Margie.
Yeah. I normally you can text me at my cell phone is the best number to reach me. It's 509
Could you repeat
And
that?
if 509 979 4927.
Okay, and they should text or leave you a message if you don't answer, correct?
Yeah, text and or leave me a message. Yeah.
Okay.
And the other option is to, request, send an email to me at, I'm trying to remember my new email.
Oh no.
It's
Solar Pacific.
That's
yeah,
the
I know it's
website.
Sun Pacific Solar, but is it M Basaraba at
It's
they
M.
keep changing.
Basaraba.
Yes.
M Basaraba at Sun Pacific Power. And so you
.com.
can send me an email,
Mhm.
sunpacificpower.com, yes.
There you go. Because
And
I
when
know,
you
because
send
I
an
just sent
email,
you an email before the show started.
Yeah.
yeah, good job.
So,
So, and then what I do a lot of times too is they can go to a website. I'll send them a link to a website where they can do some homework and that kind of thing. And then they can just book something on my calendar if they want more information. So when I think I'll make sure that I get you what the correct way is to get the website and to really start that process. Because again, people don't want to always be sold to, they want to get educated.
all
So they
right,
want to
now,
get educated, they want to see what it is, what sets us apart from anyone else. And so we want to make sure that they can get educated and then just request to get a complimentary solar analysis.
no,
Give
what are
us
the
your
best?
power bill
What
and
are
we'll
the
see
best?
what we can do.
What are the best solar panels out there on the market? Is it still supposedly Tesla, or is it another company?
Another company, yeah, Tesla. We don't even deal in Tesla at
A
all.
lot of
That's kind
people,
of their
right?
own brand.
Right.
And, and there's some new technology always coming up, but that's what I liked about partnering with Power and Sun Pacific Power specifically is because we're going to go out there and we're going to outsource the best batteries, the best inverters, the best solar panels, really the best overall. And then we work with local installers still. So you're still going to be able to get a local installer that's going to come and work on your job and install it for you. And and so we're still supporting the local economy, but we're able to, because of the size of our company, be able to get the best prices and work with the customers or the providers, the suppliers. Because we do have so many states that we're in and we're a big company, we're going to get the best price for you, and we pass that along to our clients.
Is there question? There are different levels of everything. Are there different levels of solar panels that certain a top of the line, a lesser grade? How does that work? Is there such a thing? I have no idea.
There is such a thing. And a lot of it, people are looking for more so the aesthetics now as well. The older solar panels didn't really look pretty on the home, right?
Right.
And then, of course, you want to look at energy efficiency as well as the warranty. And so our company does have one of the best warranties in the industry, and it's a 30-year end to end, so you're getting coverage. And when you sell your home, the solar is going to go with it and the warranty goes with it as well. Because have you ever had that when you had a warranty, a really great warranty on your car, and then all of a sudden you sell it to someone else and they say, oh, well, that 10-year
Expired.
warranty's
Right.
expired. You don't get to have that.
Yeah.
So that's some of the reasons why, when I was looking as a real estate professional, that I wanted the company that I would feel confident referring my mom to, my friends, and especially my past and potential clients. I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to give them the best option and, really be able to make sure we're competitive for price. So we're not always the cheapest, but you also know that old adage, you get what you pay for, right? So you can get people
Hopefully.
that will give you, yeah, you can get people that will give you a really dirt cheap deal. But then by the time they go to install it, they might, oh, well, we forgot to add this in. And oh, now we need this. So we
Yeah.
want to make sure that our clients know that we're going to do the best we can to get them the best quality for them with the best warranty so that they will have it for life.
Now,
The life of
before we go to break, and we take a little bit of a break so Lisa can pay
Yeah.
the bills for
I
Yes.
can pay
for
the
the, for,
bills.
for the show. So that being said, your real estate experience now, what are you spending more time in? Is it a 50-50 split, or what are you showing more interest in?
I have such a great network with EXP as my real estate company that I'm brokered through that I don't really do regular real estate. When I have a client that needs to buy or sell a home, I work with some local agents in my own city. And then I have a network all over the US, in all Canadian provinces and even in 25 countries. So when a client that I have a relationship here moves, I just get them one of the best EXP agents in the city where they're going to go, because we know that a referral to somebody rather than just picking somebody out of the yellow pages is always a good deal.
Yes.
So that's what I do.
always
But
the
I
best.
really, for this last chapter of what I call last chapter of my work life, is I really want to help people with the solar. And so I have a referrals that I help people get the real estate that they want. But I am really focusing on,
Every week it's turning out this way, but coincidentally or whatever, our guest, it comes from NRG networking.
Yeah.
yes.
Why that happens, maybe because I'm a little aggressive in going after those people.
I think so.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
And well, everyone seems to be happy about it. So
Yeah.
so far so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Do you get a good response from NRG people? Are you doing a lot of one-on-ones regarding solar and people finding things out?
Yes. Yeah, I actually am. And so I've really been happy with that. And again, that's why when I talk with people, no matter where they come from, I ask them, well, how are you getting the word out about your business? And if there's an NRG group near them, I always tell them about it. So
See, Mike Wiener
Yeah.
should be very
Nice.
happy.
Yeah.
I think he should be paying the Business Power Hour a little stipend. What do you think?
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
that's something
we do
to
get
do.
a little spiff if we have somebody join, right? We get a
Yes,
month
we get
free
an
of
extra
dues
month.
or something.
Yeah, or
whatever.
two.
Yeah, so
But we're also going to now.
we might have to talk with them and negotiate a little
Maybe
more.
tomorrow
There you go.
morning. Come in at 10:30 because we have a meeting at 10:30
Eastern time.
Eastern Standard Time. So I don't think you're going to want to be there. But just in case
Oh,
you can't
she's
sleep,
up early. Don't kid
Yeah.
yourself. This woman's
I am up
all-
early.
She is.
And the company I'm with is going to be launching in New York, so I will want to really
Nice.
connect with the new people. New York's a pretty regulated state, and they're kind of difficult to do business in sometimes.
you know what we can
so-
do?
Yep.
We can have the new people coming to New York on the show.
Okay.
on this show.
All right.
Yes. Yeah.
That might be a
And-
good idea for
Yeah.
them.
And if you're going to
we'll
visit
look at
on
that.
Long Island with NRG, there's a group in Long Island. There's two in Manhattan. So
Oh, wow.
keep that in mind.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at the landscape of the group up there because I was
there's a
looking
few of
mainly. I'm actually in the Houston group, and then Florida. I try to attend the ones I've got business partners in the Florida groups. And
Yeah.
so
All right,
yeah,
we're going to take a
right,
short
one
break
second.
now, and pay. Like I said, pay the bills.
pay the bills.
And so we're going to be right back. Stay tuned, everybody. Hi, everybody. My name is Norman Wasserman, and next to me is Lisa Rodino. Lisa and I host a TV podcast show called The Business Power Hour with Lisa and the Music Man.
So what does the Business Power Hour do? We are here to talk about you and your business. We will put you on air for 1 hour to highlight your business in front of thousands of viewers worldwide, helping you generate more leads to grow your business.
And we do this every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. right here. What are you doing?
I'm keeping you on point. My name is Lisa Rodino. I am a commercial loan advisor and broker. Have you been finding that your business's cash flow is not where you need it to be? Have you found yourself taking from your personal accounts to meet your business's obligations? Have you found that those quick solutions of quick money are starting to get awfully expensive? My job is to find the right funding products for my clients so they can get back to working in their business and give me the task of finding the best options for their situation. Give us a call today to learn more. 516-268-0350.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friend Entertainment USA. My name is Norman Wasserman. I am also known as the Music Man. Let me just tell you a little bit about Friend Entertainment. We put on concerts for charities, and we do that everywhere from New York to Las Vegas. We do R&B, Motown, rock and roll, jazz, whatever it is that you wish. Friend Entertainment will deliver the best of the best for you and your charity. Here are some of the names of the talent that have performed with us on our stage. Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, The Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire, the one and only ELO, Elton John himself, Kool and the Gang, and the fabulous Donna Summer. Go to our website, www.friendentusa.com. That's www.friendentusa.com. Or feel free to call us at 631-698-9696. 631-698-9696, and we'll see you at the next show. Welcome back, everybody, to the Business Power Hour with Lisa and the Music Man, and our special guest from Sun Pacific Power, Margie Basaraba Schwartz.
Did you get that?
Smith
Basaraba.
Jones. Easy for you to say. Okay, so that's the way people get to remember you. I remember the lady. I can't mention her. Can't pronounce her last name.
There's a few of them. I'm
more
just
than
as
more than
guilty.
we think.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to ask you some questions now. Lisa's going to take the lead on at least the first question over here.
Yes.
This is some stuff that we gave some hard thought to and ask you to kind of like do the same. So the first question, Lisa?
Well, question number one. How do I know if my house is fit for solar?
Yeah, that's where you don't really know if it is or not. So you get a hold of somebody that you trust, like me, and we will do a solar analysis. I mean, we got to look at, whether, is it facing the sun or, is the roof in good shape? So again, there's a lot that goes into it, and you can't assume just because you're in Florida that you are going to be able to have solar. You can't assume that if you're in Oregon that you won't qualify because we get so much rain and, that kind of thing.
Right.
So,
or the trees or
yeah.
a north-facing roof. I'm sure those are all things.
Did you go through training to learn all about the solar panels and looking at a roof? I mean, you're not climbing up a ladder to take a look at everything, so I'm sure
I am not.
You may
but
bring somebody along with you, an engineer of some sorts that will go up there and do that. But did you go through training, and how long and how intensive was the training?
Yeah, we have very intensive training on everything from just learning about solar panels themselves and how solar works. And because, again, we've got to be the experts in that to make sure that you can trust us when you come to putting the solar on your home. Right. And so, yes, we are all certified. We continually have certification by all of the solar panel companies, the battery companies, because it's getting more and more important to be able to have the battery backup. And there's so many different options out there. So, yes, we continually do training. It's not like in real estate where I have continuing ed or mortgage or something like that. But we always are making sure that we're doing the training necessary to make sure that we're providing the best value to our clients.
Let me ask you a question. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I see Hawaii in the near future. So are you going to Hawaii to make sure you know all the ins and outs of selling solar in Hawaii?
We are going to be expanding to Hawaii. We just expanded to Puerto Rico. And then I said we're going to be expanding to New York. And really, eventually, Sun Pacific Power will be partnering with some of the top companies and be in all of those 50 states.
You mentioned something about batteries.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you get an electric car, you have a battery. And if that battery dies or something happens to it, you're in an accident, God forbid, that's a really expensive item to replace. What happens with a solar panel home, and if something happens to that battery, is there insurance on the battery? Is it a lifetime warranty on the battery?
And what kind of price is it?
Yeah, everyone is different, so I can't really say, but that's why you want to work with an advisor.
Oh, I want to know what your company does. What is your company
Well,
do?
we have multiple different ones that we use as well, and so it just depends on which one for how much they need. Do they need it for the electric cars or how much are they needing to store? And it could be multiple batteries. But yes, every single battery does have a warranty, but they don't last forever, just like the batteries in your car. When you buy an electric vehicle, everybody said, oh, well, the cost of the vehicle, but what about the cost of replacing the batteries? Right. Well, the battery prices are coming down, and the more widely they're used and the more people that need them, then, of course, the cost of them are going to be coming down.
Well, if I needed
as well.
a battery tomorrow, what would it cost? An
That
idea.
I can't even really give you a price on just the battery because it's part of the whole system, right?
And
It's part of the whole
Yeah,
solar
but you're not
system.
replacing the whole system. If there's a problem with the battery, it affects the system.
Yeah, well, and I don't, I'm kind of newer into this solar
Okay.
industry and we're doing mainly just new systems. So I haven't really, I don't really specialize in just getting a new battery. And so I'm sorry, I don't really have the answer
Okay.
to that.
that's
But you
okay.
know what?
That's okay.
I can find out what it is. So
Well,
if
There
then
you
you
go.
somebody
come
has a
back.
question
Then
about
you got to
that,
come
yeah.
back and tell everybody how much
Yeah.
it's going to be.
So, do you have any upcoming events that are coming about, trade shows or fundraising events and activities that you'd like to mention?
My daughter has a fundraising event that she does in the state of Madison in memory of my granddaughter.
Well, we're a
And
family-friendly show, so please tell us
yeah,
about it.
yeah. So we has an organization that was started about 12 years ago in memory of my granddaughter who passed when she was only 36 hours old.
Mm.
And since then, so we have a nonprofit called Michaela's Grace, and every October is Baby Loss Month. And so she has a big walk that they do and just all kinds of activity to really remember all the families and help the families remember all the babies that are lost. And so, yeah, so we have that fundraiser coming up. It's called Forever in Your Hearts. And it's every October in Baby Loss Month. I don't know the exact dates of that, but it's usually right around my birthday. That's why I remember it's October.
Ah,
That's a
very
that's
good.
great.
But yeah, on my Facebook page and people can get look up michaelasgrace.com and be able to see all that. And, and they help a lot of families dealing with baby loss. But personally, that's kind of where my heart is when it comes to nonprofits and things like that. But I have a lot of businesses that I deal with as well. So whenever I hear of an event, I usually try to help support them as much as I can.
Nice of you.
Nice.
Well, you happen to be a very special lady, first of
Oh,
all.
well,
And
thank you.
originally, when I had asked you to be, if you were interested in doing it, and the reason why I asked you is with how you present yourself at our meetings that we go to and such, and everybody loves you. I mean, there isn't a negative comment about Margie.
Yeah.
And it's not Margaret. It's not anything similar. It's Margie.
Margie. Yep.
That's
Okay?
right.
So, Margie, I got another question for you. I'm not letting you up so
Okay.
easy. Investments. Now, Lisa knows a lot about investments, and I'm sure you do. You too. Is solar a good investment? Would you advise your kids, your daughter, friends, get some solar?
I absolutely would. Because again, you have no control over the cost of electricity. You're renting it. You're at their mercy. If they want to raise it, and I have heard stories recently that in Texas, they woke up with one night they went to bed and it was a $500 bill. The next day there
Yeah.
was a rate increase and their bills doubled. And so, people are not expecting that, but that's what people can expect if we don't make a change. And so you want to take control over your cost of the energy, right? And owning the system and being able to get the power that you need, get the battery backup system so that you can store whatever's excess so that you can weather any kind of storm, but then also sell it back to those power companies to help other people that are still on the grid. So again, that's why we look at solar now and in the future. And you want to design a system that's going to work with you for any of your upcoming needs and also to be able to survive any of those weather and different blackout, brownouts, those kind of things. But yeah, that's why I decided for this last chapter of my work life, to be able to just, there's so much misinformation out it and everybody needs to learn about it, whether you do it now or not. But
Be
it's
educated.
not going to get any better.
Right.
Right.
Do you
Yeah.
have
So-
solar chases in Oregon? Know what a solar chaser is?
Is it kind of like a hurricane chaser?
No, it's something that I just made up. As a matter of fact,
Ah,
it's a solar company that goes through a neighborhood
yeah.
and sees a roof, and then bangs on the door of the next door neighbor who doesn't have one.
Right.
They actually call those door knockers. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like
Yep.
in real estate. You know, when you
Yeah.
sell a home, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
blanket the home and say, hey, when you're ready to buy or sell a
Yep.
house, come to me.
Right.
So, yeah.
So
But they do have people that go door to door to try to be able to get clients to choose them. But again, and that's great. That's a, you know, somebody's out there working hard trying to help clients, but you got to look at behind who's behind them.
right.
And our company is publicly traded, Sun Pacific Power. And so we're, you know, going to make sure that we're doing right by the clients because we're regulated more so than some of these other fly by night outfits.
So does solar add value to the home?
It absolutely does. And you'll see that there was a lot of misinformation that maybe I'm totally drawing a blank. The appraisers, that's the word I was looking for. It wasn't adjusters, it was appraisers. So appraisers did not really understand the solar as well either and the value. So now there is regulations and so forth, and they're getting more educated. And there is documentation by a lot of different organizations that say, yes, absolutely, solar adds value to your home.
Nice.
Because again, it's not a liability, it's a asset because it's generating electricity for your home, it's powering your home and getting you off of the grid and where you actually own the power rather than renting it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And are there people that think solar is too expensive? And how do you dissuade them from believing that? How do you show them that it's not?
Well, we're really not going to dissuade them. We're just going to really literally look at their power bill and look at what their increases have been over the last 10 years, what the projected increases are going to be over the next 10 years, and just do a good head-to-head comparison. You have no control over what the electricity company's going to do, but you do have control over it because you're going to purchase solar today. Now the cost of your system is going to be basically the cost of your electricity. You're getting rid of that electricity bill. And once that solar system is paid off, now you don't have a power bill anymore, except for the miscellaneous ones, charges that the power company still charges because you still have to connect to the grid to sell the power back and to, you know,
Right.
so. But yeah, so it does seem expensive because it's a major investment. But if it's increasing the value of your home and it's replacing a major bill and you actually own the power now instead of renting it. So what really is more expensive, the cost of renting or owning?
Right.
The cost of not having it. So if
Or
excuse me.
she means renting electricity versus.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, whether you're hooked up to a LIPA or someone like that,
Right.
versus,
to the grid.
yeah, you're paying an exorbitant amount of money.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
If you were
Yeah.
going to do a commercial now, because we're getting near the end of the hour, believe it
Already?
or not,
This has
already.
been gone
This
so
is-
fast.
This
Yeah.
is how it goes. You're sitting in our living room. It's nice and casual. We had a drink. You're explaining your business. So now we're going to give you a minute. Because I know what it's like to
Yep.
talk for. Okay,
Give us
so
your
we're going to
pitch.
give you a minute, and I'm going to. Hi, Margie. Welcome to the Business Power Hour House. We want to get some information about solar energy and putting something on a house. What do we do? Why your company? Tell us.
Yeah. Well, again, we're the advocates for the clients, right? We're going to go out and we're going to source the best quality that we can provide in all of the different pieces, parts that put a solar system together. And we're going to really analyze your electric bill, what you're paying now, what you're projected to pay. And we're just going to give you the options. Does it make sense or not? And if it makes sense, then how do we help you afford it, right? There's zero down. There's lots of great deals going on right now where if you put solar on your home right now, you can get no payments for 18 months. So now you don't have your big power bill. Your solar is generating your power and you don't have to start paying for it for 18 months. And so, again, we're looking out for our clients. We want you to just get the information, see if your home qualifies for it, see if it makes financial sense. And if it does, then why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you move ahead with it? you're going to leave that home to your kids. Do you want to leave a home with an asset on it that's going to have free or free electricity for their life as well? Or do you want to leave them with a power bill that you don't know what it's going to be when you're 80?
Well, I don't like my kids, so when I leave them the house, I want them to pay all the money that they can.
No.
I know. Well, they always say you can't take it with you, right?
Exactly
So
right.
you got to just
So let me ask you a question about the 18 months. We're not putting a down payment down for 18 months, but now I am accumulating energy in my solar over that 18 months. Now, does that reduce the payment at the end when we get to see how much I've acquired?
You actually then, your payments on the solar system then would start, but you're also saving money on the power bill that whole time. So if you're smart, you're going to put money towards that, and but you don't have to, right? So you have the ability to use it. But if you're smart, because most people want to get the solar, we do a 25-year mortgage or not a mortgage, but a loan. It doesn't attach to your home or anything. It's
an unsecured loan for 25
unsecured
years,
loan, yeah.
but you're giving them 18 months of no payments, just interest
Right.
only accumulating,
Yeah.
and then they start.
Right. But we want to show people how to get it paid off sooner anyways,
Right.
because just like your home, you don't want to, there's a way that you can make payments or do whatever you need to do when times are good so that you don't have a 30-year mortgage. You don't have a 25-year solar payment. So Lisa and I partner together. I partner with other people that are in the mortgage industry, and we look at all of that. So yes, get what you can afford, get what you have credit for. And then we work with you and refer you to some of the best people in the industry to make sure that you're not paying for 25 years. You're not paying for 30 years on your mortgage.
So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell everybody right now that is viewing and or will view this particular show, because we are archived and people can get to watch it anytime that they wish. You're going to give Margie a call. And Margie, how are they good? Anybody. I don't care where you live in the country.
Yeah,
it makes
give her
no
a call.
difference. Just
help.
give her a call. The worst thing that can happen is you'll get educated.
Yep.
All right, Margie, how do they reach you?
They reach me at 509-979-4927.
One more time.
509-979-4927.
Okay, so
And yeah, it's just initially a short conversation. I find out about you, find out what your needs are. They simply send a power bill so I can really do a good analysis. And then we just kind of talk about, well, what are your needs? What are your misinformation? How can I help you? And we just see if it's an option or not.
Well, we
Okay,
want to
so
thank you.
I
Do you
have
have
one
another
more question.
Oh, go right ahead.
So,
Go ahead.
Okay.
is there
No,
something, do you have anything interesting about your life story that you would like to share with the audience?
Oh, that question.
Yeah.
Well, and this is kind of a joke between my husband and I. So he said to me one time, he says, I don't know why you're going to want to go jump out of a perfectly good airplane. So
What?
that was one thing that
What
I
did you
did
just
do.
say?
I did do.
Yeah.
I jumped out of a perfectly good airplane.
Was it off the ground?
Yeah.
Yes. I actually did skydiving, and it was kind of on a bet with one of my old bosses. He was taking lessons, and one of the other gentlemen was learning how to take the video of somebody when they're doing the skydiving. And he says, well, I'll buy if you'll fly, because he didn't think I had enough, cojones to do it. And so, yeah,
You
so
show
I
them.
went to my husband and said, hey, I'm going skydiving. And he says, why in the heck would you want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane? But it was quite an experience. I can't say that I would really ever want to do it again, but but yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, you did a good job. And as I was going to say before Lisa asked that titillating question of what the heck were you doing, all right, we thank you so much for being on the Business Power Hour. You've been a great guest. You got great product. You got great service, and you're just a terrific lady. And we appreciate you being here.
And I'd appreciate what you guys are doing. I mean, I look at how hard you guys work, helping people with finances, and then you trying to help people raise money and with their entertainment and so forth. And, we just all as small business people really need to band together and say, how can we help each other, right?
Exactly.
And so I just appreciate the opportunity. It made a lot of sense to me because I don't know everything in the world.
Right.
Well, We're just going to introduce you to a few thousand.
Just,
Yeah,
I
just a
know,
few.
and that made so much sense to me. So, and I'm happy to attend it. It was fun. You know, people think, oh, an hour. But man, it went so
It's
fast. And you
nearly
really
done.
do make it fun.
And when I tell that to people, they don't get it until they're
Yeah.
on the show.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
every testimonial that we get says the same thing. It was like sitting in a living room, you know, and having a drink. Well, we did.
With
We had
yeah,
the drink.
and with friends, and we're, you know.
And what's
seeing
interesting,
what-
we're all in
help
different
others.
businesses, and we all sell a service, a product, a combination, you know, and it's
Yeah.
just great, like I said, to have you here. And anytime that you would like to come back, we would love to have you.
Yep.
So we
Okay.
thank you.
Well,
Dylan, give it one more time. Let's give Margie a big bang on the way out the door. Hold on, let's do that.
Oh.
Let's say the address. Let's give Margie's information again.
Okay.
Oh, that was great. Yes, you guys made my day. So thank you again. And
Okay, hold on. Let's have your number one more time.
okay, 509-979-4927.
Great.
All right,
Now
great
we're
job.
going to have to say our goodbyes with
Yeah.
Norman and
Aw.
I, and we thank you for being
Margie,
here.
don't go away.
Just hold
stay
on a
where you are.
minute.
We're just going to say goodnight to
We're gonna-
everybody.
yep.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
We'll see you all next week, Tuesday night,
Next
7 o'clock
Tuesday.
sharp. Be at Business Power Hour with Lisa and the Music,
Music
Man.
Man.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
The Business Power Hour with Lisa and the Music Man is sponsored by Media Stations. Create your own media and have your own station. To get started with your own content, call or text 516-448-2066. That's Media Stations in Bohemia, New York.